Hey, what's up? This your boy Big Man. You already know what it is, man. So let's get right to it. Okay, so today we're going to be talking about a Florida rapper by the name of Money Mitch. Now, Money Mitch is an interesting story, man, or his story, I should say, is pretty interesting because he's got a lot of big affiliations in the rap game, man. Now, his whole situation has probably been under wraps for over a month, and it's because of his case and who was involved in all the different aspects in his case, right? It seems like Money Mitch lost his life due to some senseless gun violence that was, allegedly brought on by himself. Now, currently it's being investigated, everything to deal with the case, but the story leading up to it is just as interesting because according to some news sources, Money Mitch was being surveillanced for a long time and they were watching him and making sure that they had the right time to get the drop on him so they can arrest him for a shooting that took place or somebody who had already lost their life. Now, I'm not sure if he was involved in that or not, but we're going to get to the specifics, no doubt. Now, before we get to the details, do me a favor. Make sure you hit that like button, make sure you hit that subscribe button, and man, let's get it. Okay, now that we got that out of the way, man, let's talk about Money Mitch. Now, Money Mitch is an interesting character as far as Florida rap is concerned, right? Now, it seems like dude had a relatively small following on social media. I think between all platforms, he had a combined number of followers of like 15,000. But man, he had some connections in the rap game. And to be perfectly honest, one of those connections being one of the hottest rappers in the game, Lil Baby. And that's part of what made this story go viral and has everybody talking about it on a national level. Because up until then, this was just one of those stories in hip hop that everybody heard about, there was whispers about, but the details of the case were kind of hidden. But recently a news story dropped and it gave all the details about the situation involving the death of the rapper Money Mitch. Now what's wild is, man, they're saying that he actually took his own life, man, which is crazy because prior to that he was in a shootout. So a lot of people are skeptical about this, but it seems like it almost is a clear and cut case, man. It seems like everybody did what they needed to do as far as their due diligence to make sure that they brought the right information to light, and it looks like, man, it all checks out. Now, Lil Baby found out information about this somehow. I think one of the stories that cracked, and he just wanted to, express his condolences for the situation. So he took to social media and said this. Now, in a post that has since been gone because the time constraints about story posts, Lil Baby, he said this, man. He said that, bruh, I'm sorry. I couldn't save you with the crying emojis and a sad, looking down emoji. And basically he was replying on his story to a post that said rising Florida rapper Money Mitch had reportedly passed away. And it said, man, Mitch, you was on me every day. You know what I mean? So letting it be known that they had a relationship. Like, he was kind of being a mentor to him throughout the game is what everybody is saying. And basically, him losing his life was a tragic situation for everybody around this. You know what I mean? Now, the details are sprawled out in several different stories. And like I said, Money Mitch had a lot of people in the rap game that he was cool with, man. It seems like there was a large outpouring of condolences or whatever on his post and, even on his page right now. Because besides the drama, man, a lot of rappers in the rap game form a bond with people that they're, constantly witting around and they actually see the grind and see the shine and see what everybody else is going through to get to the top of the rap game. You know what I mean? Sad to say, Money Mitch will never see that. And the details about the story are wild to say the least. So, man, let's actually go to a news story from a couple of different sources. So from this one, this is a UK publication called mirror.com or mirror.co.uk. And basically, they broke the story down like this. The headline says, rapper Money Mitch shot himself after opening fire on police during traffic stop. Hip-hop star Money Mitch allegedly fired shots at police officers during a traffic stop in Lake Park, Florida, and was then reportedly found dead in a home close to the scene. Now, the story of the getaway and all that is wild because it sounds almost impossible when you add all that to it. When you hear about the fact that he took his own life and that he opened up fire during a routine traffic stop. It's like, man, at what time did he just, make his great escape? But obviously he knew the area or whatnot. Now the story continues by saying this. The hip-hop star, real name Mitchell Holmes, was found dead at a home in the city on June 23rd, and his death reportedly occurred shortly after an incident with police. In a video posted on Twitter, Deputy Chief Frank DeMario of the Palm Beach Sheriff's Office said the star was being surveilled by officers and was traveling in an Uber when the team initiated a traffic stop. Stop right there. So basically, he's in an Uber. He's already been under surveillance for a while. They didn't specify how long he had been under surveillance, but they're saying that basically they tracked him down and, tracked his Uber down and whatnot because, you got apps and cell phones and all this stuff, and they initiated a traffic stop. Now, after that traffic stop, obviously, that's when things went haywire. Now, the story continues by saying this, and they're basically quoting the deputy chief here, and it says, DeMario said, our tactical unit was surveilling a suspect for murder. They also have probable cause on him for drugs. So they proceeded to do a traffic. He was in an Uber. So basically they meant that they proceeded to do a traffic stop, I'm assuming, and that he was in an Uber at the time, right? Now, they suspected that he was involved in another shooting. Now, I have yet to see any information about the other shooting that he was involved in allegedly, right? Or, the drug situation. But it's obvious to everyone involved that he had a weapon on him at the time of this situation. You'll see in a second. Now, the story continues by saying he claimed the rapper then jumped out the car and started shooting at two police deputies, explaining he saw us pull over, jumped out the car, and started shooting at us. So basically, this is some wild stuff, man, because this is saying that he's in somebody else's car. He's in an Uber, and the Uber gets pulled over by the police. And he immediately jumps out the Uber and starts blasting. Now, that sounds wild because unless he knew he was being surveyed and he's a passenger in the Uber, most people would think, okay, so the Uber driver is the one that, is the reason why the cops are pulling us over. Unless he knew for a fact that, they on my tail, they on my heels, and this is what it is. Now, luckily, nobody got hurt in this situation you're going to hear in a second. But, man, that is wild to say the least, man, that he just jumped out the Uber and just started blasting, man. Now, the story continues by saying this. It says, in quotes, I don't know how many rounds were fired, 6 or even 7, but he did it in several different locations. So they're saying he was firing from several different locations, and he fired maybe 6 or 7 rounds. Then it continues by saying, in quotes, we followed him up to a building and onto the second floor. We noticed some blood droppings on the first floor. We thought he was wounded. When we got up there, he had committed suicide, so we didn't have any involvement as far as the shooting they probably meant. Now, it goes on to say, when asked by reporters about whether the deputies returned fire during the shootout, DeMario replied they did return fire, but they did not hit him. So they're basically saying that they didn't hit him at all. But what's weird is how did the blood get on the second floor? I guess maybe from the leakage. Or, I don't know. I don't want to sound cruel here or even get into those type of specifics, but wild situation. Now, it says a probe into the death is underway, and the 2 officers involved in the shootout have been placed on administrative leave, which is normal procedure. Neither of the officers were injured in the incident. Money Mitch shot to fame at the end of last year when he released a track called Charged Up with rapper Spot 'em Got 'em, which gained more than 200,000 views on YouTube. So it looks like he was on his grind. Now, they go on to say that he was going to sign with Big Gates, which I believe is Kevin Gates' label. Now, some of the dates that are listed in these stories, and I've seen different stories about this, say that the incident took place on the 23rd of June, right? Well, most of the stuff that I see that was posted by the, Palm Beach County Sheriff's Department says that this took place actually on the 23rd of July. So that would be just a couple of days ago as opposed to like a month ago. You know what I mean? So this is a wild situation, and Money Mitch's passing is definitely a blow to everybody involved in his camp, all the rappers that he interacted with, and everybody in Southern hip hop who were tuned into what he does. You know what I mean? Tragic to say the least. And obviously this is going to be a blow to his family as well. So my condolences to him and his family, and rest in peace or whatnot. Now with that, this has been your boy Big Man. Do me a favor. Make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. And make sure you hit that notification bell so that way you get a notification every time I drop this hot content. And we out of here. Peace.